All right, final day of the year. 2022 starts tomorrow. Here's a look back at some of the biggest stories we've covered this year.
The sequel to the infamous 2020 had plenty of twists and turns for the people of Idaho. The heartbreaks, the triumphs, and everything in between. The early months of 2021 may have felt like a simple continuation of the COVID-filled 2020, but the rollout of COVID vaccines sparked hope for better times. Daily case counts began to trend south as more and more Idahoans rolled up their sleeve for a COVID vaccine. The year hummed along into the summertime, and COVID headlines in the Gem State were encouraging as a sense of normalcy seemed to be right around the corner. As we've all learned though, just when we seem to have answers, COVID changes the question. A new Delta variant sent Idaho and the rest of the world into a tailspin. The more contagious variant spiked case counts, hospitalizations, and eventually forced Idaho into unprecedented territory.
If we continue on this course over the next several weeks, St. Luke's health system will become a COVID health system. We will consume every single bed and every single resource we have with COVID patients in our hospital.
Idaho's already exhausted medical force continued to work day in and day out to take care of very sick people with COVID. For weeks, Idaho's medical workers battled through crisis standards, the toughest challenge to date. In recent weeks, crisis standards have ended and the situation has improved, but still, COVID remains very much with us as we head into a new year. In 2021, Idaho lawmakers found themselves at the State House for almost the entire year. The legislature managed to set the record for the longest session in state legislative history. Executive powers, COVID restrictions, vaccine mandates, ethics, property taxes, critical race theory, education, and more powered passionate debates at the Capitol in downtown Boise. After an unofficial mid-year break, the session came down to 3 final days in November. Lawmakers returned to take on the Biden administration's vaccine mandates. In the end, though, lawmakers decided on passing to pass new legislation, opting to wait till next year.
Because our system moves slow on purpose. We don't change things easily. And when we do it when there is agreement. And if we don't have agreement, we shouldn't change it.
The state of Idaho paid tribute to 3 members of the Idaho Army National Guard who died in a helicopter crash while on a training mission in early 2021. This happened near Lucky Peak Reservoir. The pilots killed included 43-year-old Chief Warrant Officer Jesse Anderson of Boise, 39-year-old Chief Warrant Officer George Jeff Lobin of Boise, and 43-year-old Chief Warrant Officer Matthew Peltzer of Nampa.
The sudden and tragic loss of 3 of our fellow Guardsmen is extremely heartbreaking to every member of the Idaho National Guard family.
And it leaves a tremendous, indescribable void in our aviation community.
A heart-stopping visual over the Malad Gorge. A truck pulling a camper trailer nearly fell into the gorge. A safety chain, though, connected to a camper saved the Garden City couple caught inside.
We soon won't forget this experience at all, I can tell you that much.
Nikki and Steve Cunningham waited 68 minutes from their call to 911 to getting on solid ground again. The couple spent every moment looking down at the 80-foot deep gorge after strong winds pushed their truck off of the Malad Gorge Bridge. The couple and their pets were saved in a daring rescue by the Magic Valley Paramedic Special Operations Rescue Team.
First off, we want to thank everybody today, how grateful we are for each and every person for the rescue efforts on our accident.
In September, United States President Joe Biden traveled to visit Idaho at the National Interagency Fire Center in Boise as a part of his trip across the West focused on the region's devastating wildfire season. During his brief visit, Biden was briefed on the wildfires and drought impacting our region. The president stressed during his time the urgent need to fund the fight against climate change.
The reality is we have a global warming problem, a serious global warming problem. And it's consequential.
2021 marks one of the most difficult days in the history of our community. 2 people were killed and several others were injured after a gunman opened fire inside the Boise Mall. The community paid tribute to and continues to remember the victims, 26-year-old Joe Acker of Caldwell and 49-year-old Roberto Padilla Arguelles of Rupert, Idaho.
We stand in memory tonight of those two innocents, Joe Acker, Roberto Padilla Arguelles, and of course, all who suffered the trauma of the experience here at the mall.
Monday, there were moments when it felt like the world was coming apart. As I can see here tonight, there are moments where we as a community can come together.
The fall of 2021 marks the full return for Boise State football on the blue. After a season with virtually no fans in 2020, 2021 saw the massive return of Bronco Nation, cheering on the boys on the blue at Albertson Stadium.
To be in that atmosphere, to be in that environment, I've been telling guys it's probably the best thing you'll ever be a part of.
I mean, the atmosphere is just, it's unique.
It was a year of major changes, too, for Boise State. They welcomed a brand new athletic director in Jeremiah Dickey, and they also welcomed aboard the brand new football coach, Andy Avalos, welcoming him home back to Boise. Although the end of the season ended with a COVID-canceled bowl game, Broncos fans are hopeful that the new era of Boise State football will return the Broncos back to their glory days. After going viral for a simple tweet that bared his name, longtime KTVB anchor Mark Johnson retired in 2021. The community celebrated a truly incredible career at KTVB while remembering some of MJ's biggest stories from over the years. One of the biggest memories that MJ will always keep with him is the amazing campaign of giving to end the year.
7
Cares Idaho Shares returned to grocery store parking lots across the Treasure and Magic Valleys as you, the community, donated food, clothing, and money to those in need. With your help, we raised thousands of dollars and meals for our neighbors needing a hand up.